Hello and welcome to Week 8 of NFL Game Picks. I'm Austin Ramos. That's Chris Wright, and looking pretty swagged out today, Chris. What do you got to say?
They love to count us out. And what did I say? I'm coming back firing. I'm going to have my best week yet. And what did I do? Had my best week yet so far. And the Bears, they won Monday night. Nobody wanted us. No one predicted we would win. No one thought we'd win in that fashion. And none of you guys who picked this game picked the Bears. Nobody besides me. So, great week.
How'd you do in terms of wins and losses?
Went 10-4, best week yet. 10-4.
Now, where does that land you?
Hey, I moved up. I'm no longer in last.
By technicality.
Technicality. Thomas, our friend from work, Thomas, joined.
Welcome to the league.
Welcome to the
Worst
league.
record yet, 8 and 100.
8 and 100.
So he joined before after Thursday's game, and on top of that, it just counted everything beforehand as a loss. So right now, he's what 8 and
6.
8 and 5 because the Thursday night game didn't count.
True.
Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good
bad.
First week.
Aside from that, myself, I went 10-4 as well. Not my best week yet, but one of the better weeks. I needed it, especially after going 6-8 last week.
Jeez. Yeah.
Which puts me at 60-48 overall, which is currently having me at 4th. Steve is going off 67-41, 10-4 last week. Eddie 9-5 last week, 66-42. Matt 63-45, 7-7 last week. Not a good week for Matt, but still 500. Myself and Joey are tied 60-48. Joey also had a 10-4 week. And then DJ, the reigning undefeated champ, not looking so good so far this season. What's up, DJ? Talk to us.
Cold weather, man. I don't know. Freezing his picks.
Yeah, for real.
Freezing them out.
But he's still above 500. He is 59-49 and 8-6 last week. Mark had probably his worst week yet. Went 6-8. It's probably because he picked the Steelers, honestly.
Hey, shout out to Mark. You went to the game, as did you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a good time. I mean, that was a good game. If you're a Steelers fan, you're like, man, like couldn't have asked for a better game. You were probably staying within. But yeah, Marcus 57-51. Then we have Chris 56-52.
No touchdowns in the second half is a good game.
No, if you're a Steelers fan, you go to that game, you lose by less than a touchdown. You're like, we competed pretty well. You know, like if I was a Steelers fan, then I was just like more of like a optimist than a pessimist. You know.
I guess. Yeah.
But still.
Yeah. Hey, this week I'm going to try to bet kind of against Mark and DJ to try to go against them. So try to catch them in the standings, I think. So I'm definitely going to pay attention because I know both of them have their picks in so far. So I'm definitely going to take that into consideration while making my picks this week for sure.
Chains on, gold glasses,
hey,
fedora.
We're back, baby. Long season.
You should have seen him earlier. He had the collar popped, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I come right with my Dolphins drip, but Chris just took it to another level this week.
Hey, it is a sick jacket. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Anyways, yeah, the Dolphins got a win. If you guys saw my post game video, you can tell that I was like upset about winning in the way that they did. I'm happy as hell with a win. I'll take a win any day, any time, any chance we can get. But at the end of the day, it was just an unsatisfying win. Like you thought the Dolphins could have done so much better in my case. But besides that, Tua's back. He looked pretty good. Knocked off some rust, but then started to like not look so good. I think that was more so Pittsburgh adjusting and making things harder for him. But it is what it is. You know, that's the game that every team plays. You know, make adjustments and make your team better and within the game. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Hey, a win looks the same at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They all look the same.
No matter how
big. So on to the next week, man.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully they improve.
Yeah. Speaking of the next week, we have the first game of this week, Thursday Night Football, Baltimore Ravens versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, October 27th. The lines have shifted a lot since I initially made the graphic last night when I was making them. Baltimore was favored about 2.5. Now they're down to 1. And then on top of that, money line Baltimore minus 125. Over under set at 45.5. This I don't know why the lines move so much. I think it should be moving more in Baltimore's favor with a lot of these like players like Julio Jones and Russell Gage. Well, Russell Gage is confirmed out, and then Julio Jones is questionable, right?
He's a game time decision.
Like, yeah.
But likely out, I would say, at this point.
I mean,
I think that factors into the line movement, honestly.
For sure. Yeah, no, I mean, literally, I mean, at our job, we work in sports and we handle like gambling odds at work, and every time like something crazy happens, we were like, the lines move. You know, like today, some moves happen in terms of trades, and starters will go over them when they get to around those affiliated teams. Surprised you didn't go over it when we talked about it.
I'm saving it for this week's talk.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyways, Baltimore, you know, another close game. They ended up coming out on top on this one against the Browns last week. Tampa just Mike Evans got to catch some of those balls, man. Like, I don't want to put all the blame on one person.
Even so, they would have lost.
Yeah, on top of that, Brady just did not look good. He was underthrowing guys a lot. Like, how you underthrowing 5-yard routes? Like, you're throwing it into the ground. I don't know what he was doing. I get the pressures there. That being said, this Ravens team is in a lot better of a position than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm going to go Baltimore. But at the end of the day, I will not be surprised if Tampa comes back out firing and, you know, Brady's just on one, you know, prime.
Yeah.
On top of that, just not doing good. So he just wants to prove everyone wrong. But if he does lose this game, is it over for Brady?
I don't think it's necessarily over just based off of this division being bad.
That too.
And them being 3-4 and being in first place
still. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm going to go with the Ravens. I understand what you're saying. Normally, I would agree. I wouldn't bet against Tom Brady after getting basically their ass kicked, honestly, to be fair, by a team that literally traded away all of their good players.
Yeah, they traded away...
and their coach. Fired their coach.
The Panthers traded away Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey. Fired
Matt Rule. And
now Steve Wilkes is the interim head coach. But, like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Exactly. Plus, like, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson got traded, didn't he? And both of them have been in trade talks at least for this whole season. But regardless, I mean, I don't know. I just can't. I'm not confident in Tampa right now or in Tom Brady. I think there's a lot of outside distractions in Tom's life outside of football. Not gonna get into that, but I'm just more confident in Baltimore, and with no Antoine Winfield back there, they're gonna have a rough night going against Lamar.
Yeah, I totally agree. On top of that, I think this Ravens team is going to capitalize on like the fact that like there's so many injuries, so many things going wrong with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I also included Ravens running back Gus Edwards' first touchdown score plus 575, big return, big risk. So just if you do that one, just throw a little bit in there and you get a nice little chunk change of return. The possibility of it happening is pretty big, just because Ravens are a run-heavy team. They're especially is Duvernay and Bateman. How are they doing? Do you know about them?
The whole, honestly, most of their offensive skill players are questionable right now. I was gonna even mention Mark Andrews. Hopefully he plays because he's a huge factor. Asset. But yeah, Bateman's questionable. Andrews, I know their left tackle is questionable as well, and Gus Edwards. But they still have 3 decent running backs in Kenyon Drake, Mike Davis. I don't really know Justice Hill too well, but
yeah, it kind of sucks. J.K. Dobbins going out already. Nothing crazy, no season-ending stuff as of right now, but it just sucks. Like he just came back, and now Gus Edwards finally gets come back, and now he's probably gonna be thrown into the prominent role. So that's why I went with him on that.
Yeah, and it'd be nice if Lamar got some help because he's top 5 in rushing yards right now, and he's a quarterback. So
yeah. All right. So what does that make of this next game?
Man, 2 disappointments right here, honestly. And
who we got?
We got Russ. Let's ride. coming down. The Denver Broncos. I almost said Nuggets. Denver Broncos coming down to Jacksonville to play the Jags.
Well, they're not coming down to Jacksonville.
Oh, actually, they're going across the pond, eh?
Yes, sir.
It's an early game.
So technically, Jaguars are home there too.
They play there so much too.
They play at least almost one game a year there.
But
I put Jacksonville.
I think you have to go. Nice. I think you have to go with the Jags. Just based off what you said, they are very familiar being there, and I don't think Russ is gonna play in this game. So especially if there's no Russell Wilson, even with him being awful this year.
So it's a little bit tough. Like you said, two disappointing teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Jaguars, you don't really expect them to be good, but like you're kind of hopeful they are because like they're an entertaining team. They're young, So like Jaguars, I'd put as one of the more entertaining teams to watch because at any given game they can like just pop off for no reason. Like we saw like the early on in the season against the Chargers. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you mentioned trades too. Big trade from the Jags.
Mm-hmm. They just got rid of James Robinson to the New York Jets, and was it for a 6th-round pick?
6th-round pick to replace Breece Hall.
Yeah,
who got hurt.
Yeah, so we'll touch on that with the Jets a little bit more, but yeah, Jacksonville got rid of him. That means Etienne is going to be the starting back and like prominent back for them.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm stuck on this one because as much as I want to go with Jacksonville, I think they're the better team right now, and just overall, they have a little bit more of a drive going to them. The Broncos just are a better team, and that's like the conundrum of like, all right, this team has been doing better, but then this team is better.
I think the Jags are much better. They've been in almost every game that they've played, honestly. Like, they've lost a lot of them, but they've been in all of them. They lost on the last play of the game last week on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, no, that was absurd, man. Oh, my gosh.
I forgot who it was, but he just couldn't get in the end zone. One of the wide receivers. It was a little bit of a bad pass. Like, you should probably have waited for him to get in the end zone. But
at the same time, would that pass have been there at the goal line?
Probably not. You got to, trust your guy to hopefully make a play. But they've been in every game. Like, they easily could honestly be undefeated if you look at it. I don't think they've lost by more than a touchdown in any game.
Right now, the spread is at 2.5 for Jacksonville. Jacksonville is favored. Over under set at 39.5, which I think is pretty good chance to probably take the under. But you never know with Jacksonville because they can either score a lot or not score so much. Broncos, we've seen so far, they haven't been able to put a lot of points on the board. Yeah.
And
you convinced me. You convinced me. I'm going with the Jaguars. So is pretty much everyone in the league in terms of our league with who's selecting. And I also threw in the prop, Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Total passing touchdowns over 1.5, plus 139. Like you said, last week he couldn't get into the end zone when it was crucial. I think this week he's just coming out firing. Speaking from someone who's seen the Jaguars, not in person perform in London, but at least seen them defeat my team in London.
Yeah.
I know they can turn it on. Yeah, they beat the Dolphins last year in London. That was painful to watch. Next, we have the first game of the 1 o'clock window, Arizona Cardinals at Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is favored. Minnesota has been pretty good on the tear right now. They just come off a bye after beating the Dolphins the previous week. Cardinals off of a big Thursday night win after defeating the New Orleans Saints. And literally, there was a close game until about 2 minutes left in the second quarter where they got 2 pick sixes, not consecutively in terms of like plays, but like they got 2 pick sixes on consecutive drives. The shot of Andy Dalton, like looking away as he's flipping into the end zone for the second pick six was wild.
Yeah.
First pick six, my bad.
That's a crazy pick.
Yeah, it's like probably shot of the year in terms of like you have one guy living his best life and then you have another guy just hating it, That being said, it's tough because the Cardinals just got back D-Hop. The offense is going to look a lot better. Benjamin played pretty good, but again, against a depleted Saints team. Meanwhile, the Vikings, when they shouldn't have won the game at all against the Miami Dolphins in terms of you look at the stats and everything, like you would think the Vikings got obliterated in that game. And then just the Dolphins, one, couldn't put up points, and then two, just couldn't stop Minnesota when it really mattered. Like they were able to stop them pretty much all game, and then like when it came down to the crucialest times, they weren't able to get the stops. I think Minnesota is one of those crazy teams this year. That's why I'm going with them. I think they're going to ride the wave and keep on going with drippy Kirk Cousins.
Man, I was going to probably take Minnesota at home, especially because it's not a primetime game, so you don't have to worry about Cousins sucking. But, they're in my division. So, sorry, Thomas. We're glad you joined the league.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas is a Vikings fan, but I'm going to go against the Vikings. I'm going to take Arizona, especially since the people I'm chasing, a lot of them have taken Minnesota, and I think
everyone so far has taken
Minnesota. I think the Cardinals could win. I think Minnesota tends to play down to their opponents, and they let their opponents stay in games, especially lately this year. That defense isn't very good. The only thing is they might look great this week because the whole offensive line for the Cardinals is pretty banged up.
Yes,
Plus,
that is true.
A lot of the guys behind the starters are banged up as well. But I think D-Hop just came back, and Arizona's a pretty good team, and I think they have a good chance to win this on the road, honestly.
Yeah. One thing that's going to be very interesting with the Cardinals coming up soon, I don't know if you guys are or are not fans of like Hard Knocks and stuff like that with HBO, but they're having the in-season coming out soon. I don't know the specifics, but I've seen like a trailer recently. And it'll be cool. I can't wait to see that stuff because just getting any type of extra glimpse inside NFL is always awesome. No matter if it's your team or not, it's a team you may be interested or not. It's just something like last year with the Colts during the season was pretty cool. So seeing that with the Cardinals, that's going to be something to look forward to. I also have a prop for this game. Do you think it's a team or a player?
I think it's a specifically Kyler Murray prop.
No. At all. It's not even with the Cardinals. It's actually with the Minnesota Vikings. I have Minnesota Vikings quarter 1, 3 quarters, plus 305. Had to, So that I'm like, I gotta put that one on, Nah, but honestly, I'm just more confident in the Minnesota Vikings being able to put up points at home. They have the better offense in terms of well-roundedness, and then just defensively, I think they're just a notch above. But I wouldn't put one above the other necessarily right now. But, yeah, definitely the offense is better for Minnesota.
What do you think?
Dude, you've been here for what, like 20 minutes and you haven't said a single word?
He's been dead silent.
Come on, bro. Dude, say something. All right.
You didn't catch my joke? Dead silent?
No, I went right over.
Dang.
Guess you can say it went through my skull.
Whoa.
Anyways, we have the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons for an NFC South divisional matchup. Panthers coming off a big, surprising win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Falcons have been quite the surprise this year. I wouldn't say super surprising. We always thought they were going to be kind of mediocre. But so far, I'm pretty surprised with how this Falcons team has been conducting themselves. They are favored in this game, minus 4.5 in terms of spread, minus 220 money line, over under set at 41.
Kind of surprised by the spread.
Why, you think it would be a little bit more in Atlanta or Carolina's favor?
I think it'd be a little bit more, honestly, in Atlanta's favor, but I think it's good value there. I'm going to go with Atlanta at home. I think they are the better football team, especially like with everything that is going on in Carolina that we mentioned before. You might even see more players off of the team. I said it last week. Christian McCaffrey might not be on the team. And what happened? The next day, Christian McCaffrey was traded. Mm-hmm. So by this time next week, who knows? The whole staff might be gone, the whole team. But so I'm going to take Atlanta at home. I don't know. Kyle Pitts has been bugging me. He's on my fantasy team. He's been a little bit disappointing. He was very hyped. I took a chance on him.
How early did you draft him?
Fifth round probably, maybe. I don't know. Maybe like 5th or 6th, I believe. But under 200 yards, one tud on the year. Not going to cut it.
He had 1 touchdown last year. That's why I'm not so high on him.
He's been stinky. Yeah. If you get the stinky Pitts.
Yeah.
But
that was me this morning.
But anywho, yeah. Hopefully he has a good game because it'd be nice to get some help from him in fantasy for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my dog, in terms of fantasy standpoint and Kyle Pitts, I'm totally against you on that one. In terms of, I have Falcons quarterback Marcus Mariota under half a touchdown, so he's not even going to throw a passing touchdown. Plus 172, because the receivers there, not so great, especially, Calvin Ridley. He's seeing these numbers on the screen. He's like, hey, licking his lips. He's trying to put some money on it,
What week are we in? 8?
He's suspended the whole season, I think.
Who?
Ridley.
Oh, Ridley, yeah. Nah, I was just looking at Mariota's stats. He's 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Yeah. So averaging a touchdown a game, literally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with the Falcons. I think they are way more conducted, like better team. And then on top of that, just like you mentioned, Carolina's having a fire show essentially right now. They said they're trying to keep DJ Moore as like one of those foundational pillars, all that good stuff. But when you already move off a guy like McCaffrey, who they've been holding on to for a long time, there's been trade talks about him almost every year, and they're like, no, we're not moving off of McCaffrey. The fact that they moved off of him and now they're saying, oh, DJ Moore is a pillar, I get that. But at this point, if you're going to blow the thing up, just entirely just nuke it. Like, I don't know.
Were you surprised by the McCaffrey trade? Because I kind of was.
Yes and no. Like, I was surprised how fast it happened. But in terms of, like, that it did happen, I wasn't, because it was just like the writing's been on the wall for such a long time. And it's just like, let's get this guy out of here while we can. Because what do you want to do? You want to lose him in free agency down the line and, like, not get anything from him? Although I think the compensation wasn't as much as it should have been. And by the way, he got traded like right after we recorded the pod. Chris was like, "Oh, we got to do an emergency pod." I'm like, "No, relax. We'll talk about it next week." But yeah, I think they could have gotten more. They could have at least gotten a first rounder for him.
Nah, no shot. Nobody's gonna give up a first rounder for an older running back, even with as good as he is. But I thought they would have gotten more. Honestly, I thought they would have kept him. Like, that's literally the face of your organization. That's like trading KD. That's like trading Giannis. You know what I mean? I was pretty shocked, honestly. Like, no matter what, that's the guy you could potentially rebuild around. And then, like, I don't know. I was pretty sad to see him go, honestly.
So the reason I think they just finally moved off of him, I mean, they were like, hey, it's been like about 3 years of this process that we've been like kind of in limbo, if not we're trying to rebuild. Like, it's been a weird spot.
Yeah.
And it's just like cap casualty, and like on top of that, just like injury prone. Get something for him while you can, because like I don't know, the lifespan of a NFL player in terms of career is not long, especially for the running backs. Yep. So just get something out of him while you can, and that's how like a lot of owners and teams just look at it. But enough of that. Let's talk about who?
The Bears.
The Bears. Hey, dude.
Yeah, we're partying like it's 1985.
Dude.
This guy's
you think
dying
he had some flesh
to see
on him?
the Bears win, dude. But anyways, enough with the Halloween puns. We got our guy on the sticks here rocking the Bears. I'm going with the Bears. I think that was the best Bears game that I've seen in probably 2 years, 3 years, if not maybe more, honestly. When's the last time we scored 34 points? I don't know.
Against the Miami Dolphins, Week 8 overtime in Miami.
There you have it, folks. But I'm going to take them on the road. I'm not sold that Dak is back. I think Dak could possibly be whack. But,
dude.
I'm Dr. Seuss right now. But
feeling yourself way too much.
Hey, you know how it is. But anywho, the Cowboys have a lot of wins on board, on paper, yes. A lot of them are Cooper Rush wins, not Dak Prescott wins. Mm-hmm. Dak is clearly, I think
QB2?
No, I think he's the better quarterback.
Yeah,
but
of course.
That being said, the Chicago Bears did just trade away Robert Quinn, which I know Roquan Smith was very upset, as well as other Chicago Bears, especially on defense. As me, I was upset, especially that I had to cover this at work. So I was pretty upset because we literally just came off of a win. We could potentially make the playoffs. As
a wild card, I don't think you guys are going to win the division.
Probably not. And probably not the wild card either. But why are we giving up in Week 8?
Yeah.
We're giving up in Week 7. We're not even making it to Week 8.
Yeah.
This guy literally just just tied our franchise record for sacks with 18.5. Was considered one of for a defensive player of the year, and we give him away for what was it? A 5th round pick, a 6th round pick? Like,
No idea.
come on, man. I got to go against the grain here. Everybody seems to be going with the Cowboys so far. Hopefully this is another one that I win on. My Bears come in clutch. It's a 1 o'clock game in Dallas. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's always fun going with your home team, like with your team, no matter what the circumstances are.
Ran over, bro.
Yeah. But one thing I'm surprised is Matt is not even going with the Bears, and like Matt is like one of the biggest, not Cowboy haters, but like he's just like a Cowboy truther. Like he'll say it out as it is with the Cowboys, and then on top of that,
Matt.
he he rides the Bears like whenever he gets a chance. I'm surprised he actually is not going with them. Me on the other hand, I am going with the Cowboys as well, just because Cowboys they're doing a lot better. Their defense is probably like 3rd overall in terms of just like yards allowed and then scoring allowed, stuff like that. Spread is pretty heavily in Dallas's favor, 9.5. It's pretty steep.
Micah Parsons might kill Justin Fields. There's a pretty high chance.
That's another thing I want to talk about. Justin Fields is getting destroyed out there. It seems like almost every play that he drops back and sits in the pocket, even times he gets out of the pocket, he's just getting annihilated. The one that he did fumble on Monday night, that it went out of bounds, so like they retained possession. It was just like, get rid of the ball, man. Like, I feel like there's some things that Justin Fields needs to work on in order for me to go and be more confident with them going into a game like this, especially against a defense like the Dallas Cowboys, who have Micah Parsons, who's absolutely beast, DeMarcus Lawrence, who's another beast, who's gonna just probably both of them are gonna sandwich them at some point in the game. I think it's gonna happen.
Did you see the sandwich the other night?
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Pretty
and then on top of that, the secondary, is he gonna test Trayvon Diggs? I mean,
who? Mooney?
I'm saying Fields. Is he going to test him? Is he going to throw the ball his way? We'll see.
We'll see.
With that being said, the defense for the Bears, young, hopeful, fast, athletic. I like what I see out of the defense.
High risk, high reward, definitely.
The biggest thing about the defense that I liked is just like they're just attacking the ball, going after it and just not being scared of like whatever may come of it. And sometimes big plays are going to happen for you. Sometimes big plays are going to happen for the other team. Like you said, high risk, high reward. But I do like what I'm seeing from the Chicago Bears team. Defensively, mostly. Offense needs to start getting there a little bit more. But I think last week we saw a big improvement from Justin Fields. So I got to give him props there because I've been riding him a little hard. I think they're going to win the third quarter in terms of scoring. That's why I have him here as a prop bet, plus 220. How you feeling?
No, I like that.
Coming out the half, coming out hot.
Maybe coming out of the half. We've been starting hot lately, so maybe if the first quarter's out there and it looks decent, maybe gamble with that.
Yeah.
But maybe this is one that you might want to do see how the games go and make.
Well, this is before the game. Live odds will change drastically.
Exactly.
So this is just before the game, but yeah.
You might want to see how the live odds change too. Keep your eye on it, but you never know.
Yeah. Because I think the live odds had New England favored, and then it switched to you guys pretty much after the first quarter. So this is something to look out for people who either are gambling and setting it up and just set and forget it. Yeah. Or if they're doing live odds. Yeah. Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus New Orleans Saints. Ooh. How you feeling?
Another 2 disappointing teams. This is just like Denver, Jacksonville all over again. Sorry, DJ. Shout out to DJ, but he picked. Let me check. I hope he picked the Saints. He picked the Saints.
What do you think, dude?
I don't know, man. I really don't know where to go.
It's a 50-50 decision right now between everyone that's picked so far. DJ picked Saints. Eddie picked Raiders. Mark picked Saints. Matt picked Raiders.
Wow.
I'm gonna ride with Eddie and Matt. Especially Eddie. Eddie's been on fire, so I'll trust Eddie's picks. And I was going to probably pick them regardless. I think the Saints, if they're not having Jameis Winston in the lineup, it's going to be hard for them to get a win. Andy Dalton, yes, he does bring like a calming and like more, controlled pace offensively and just like not so many risk in terms of, aside from those 2 pick sixes, Andy Dalton played really good on Thursday night. But those are the things that everyone's going to talk about. Those 2 turnovers that were costly. You lost by a touchdown. Guess what? You threw 2 interceptions for 14 total points.
We had 3 total.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did throw 3 interceptions, but he had 2 pick sixes consecutively. So
Not
it's
gonna
just
win very many games with that.
yeah. I know. I understand. Like one of them was like a tip ball, so you can't like fully blame him, but still, it's just putting the ball in that position in the first place. Raiders coming off a bye, 2-4, just not looking good. But guess what? They're we keep saying this. They're probably the best 2-4 team we've ever seen. I
don't know anymore. I don't know. They dealt away one of their D tackles this week in Hankins. The defense hasn't looked great. I'm gonna pick the Raiders just because of the people that have been picking the Saints. I'm chasing, so hopefully I can get a game up on them. But I'm not confident in the pick. I think it's a toss-up, honestly.
Yeah, so now that you're saying that, spread is at 1.5 for the Raiders.
Really?
Minus 125 money line, so damn near a pick 'em. Over under set at 49.5. I think the over could hit. I think both of these teams kind of like score and like don't play defense as much. Winning margin: Las Vegas Raiders 7 to 12 points plus 500.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, because I do think it's going to be a pretty high scoring affair. I will probably go with the over if I was a betting man, and I'd probably take that prop bet I put in there. So
yeah,
take a shot. Take a shot. Hey.
Speaking of shots.
We have the Miami Dolphins versus the Detroit Lions. Miami's favored minus 3.5. Money line minus 190. Over under set of 51. And last time Miami Dolphins won in Detroit, not played, because last time they played in Detroit, Brent Grimes had one of the most craziest interceptions while guarding Calvin Johnson, was something like double his size. Aside from that, Dolphins lost that game tragically. But last time they won in Detroit, guess who was the head coach?
Don Shula.
No, a little bit. We're a little bit closer to my time.
Who was the head coach? I don't know. It had to have been a long time ago, right?
About 16 years ago.
No idea. Who?
He coaches for a prominent college.
In Miami?
No.
Tell me.
It was Nick Saban.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Dolphins defense combined
about that.
for 6 sacks
right.
plus. There was 3 players with 2 sacks each. So kind of crazy defensive performance last time Dolphins won there. That being said, I think they're going to get another win there. Not even me just being a, optimistic Dolphin fan. One thing I will say about this Detroit Lions team, young, like pretty similar to what I said about the Bears. Young, athletic, just has speed, gets after it.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good team. They just have the worst luck I've ever seen of a football team ever. Right now, their record is 1-5. They could easily be 3-3. It's just sometimes they the first couple weeks they were one of the highest scoring teams in the NFL. And
that's true.
I get that, and it's very early on in the season to be like, bloating about that, but like, you are what you do on the field. So, Detroit's a good team. I think they're gonna give the Dolphins a good fight. I would not say it's gonna be so close, but at the same time, my prop bet for this game, winning margin, Miami Dolphins, 7 to 12 points, plus 440. If you're a Dolphins fan, just take that bet, have some fun with it.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins too on the road. And what do you think? Like, are they just gonna stay up there since they're playing the Bears the following week, or will they come home?
They just might, honestly, just stay there, adjust to it. It might look like this because they're not prepared for how chilly it's gonna be.
They might freeze their bones off.
Oh, dude. Anyways, yeah, they could, because they're having back-to-back weeks in the Mid East, so could be the case. Midwest, Mid East, stay crazy place to play.
But anyways,
World Cup.
Not the Middle East. Anyways, yeah, I think it is gonna be high scoring, especially with Tua back. Hopefully, he's getting more and more back to normal. I'm not liking him running the ball with his head down, but scares me. Yeah, this team for the Lions, another team that I'm kind of disappointed by, especially after Hard Knocks and everybody falling in love with them and rooting for them. I would think the spread would be higher in the favor of the Dolphins. I would think it'd be closer to like 6 to 7.5.
Well, remember they always give 3 points to the home team,
right?
So it pretty much is that realistic if you think about it.
So I would take that honestly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna take Miami.
Yeah, but yeah, like I alluded to in the beginning, Dolphins won, that was all good and dandy, but underwhelming game. Hoping that they could probably fulfill the prop bet that I put out there. 7 to 12 points. Win by more than one possession. That would be great. But I could care less. As long as Dolphins get a win, I'm happy. But there are things to improve on. I get it. Tua's first game back since the concussions. On top of that, I think the whole moment kind of got to them a little bit. They were like, all right, it's prime time. Let's try to do something a little extra. A lot of drop balls. I'm not necessarily blaming anyone. I'm not blaming the quarterback or the receiver. Just like execution just needs to be a little bit better. That 4th and 3 play where Chase Edmonds runs to the middle when he has a lot of open space to his left and he just decides to cut it back towards the middle. Don't know if that was either by design or whatnot, but it is what it is. Those are things you can look in a microscope with a win.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward so what are you going to do about it? Staying within the AFC East, we have the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. New York Jets are the surprise team of the NFL season so far.
Yeah,
5-2. Both New York teams, matter of fact, but we'll get to the other one later. But yeah, New York Jets 5-2. New England Patriots just lost to the Bears on prime time Monday Night Football, and they're 3-4 currently. Quarterback controversy. What do you feel about that?
Well, Mac Jones is gonna start.
If you have 2 quarterbacks, you got none.
Hey, that guy said that on HQ the other day, and I was like, "That's a bar, bro."
Yeah.
That's
true. That's a common football saying.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a bar, but it's true. And I agree. But that being said, I don't think they have 2 quarterbacks. I think Mac is their quarterback.
Confirmed starter.
He is gonna start. They announced it today. I really don't want to pick against the Patriots, but I think Bill Belichick will win one of the 2 games against the Jets. And it's funny because they play the Jets, then the Jets have a game, and then they play the Patriots again. So
they've had that recently a lot. Both of these teams.
It kind of stinks because the Jets go Patriots, Bills, Patriots.
The Dolphins actually had their schedule like that against the Jets last year. Like they had games in New York or East Rutherford, New Jersey, wherever you want to say. Then
New Jersey.
Between that and 2 weeks later, they had a game against the Jets at home. So it was just like couldn't really escape them because like the turnaround was like so like little,
I mean, I don't know. That being said, I'm gonna take the Jets at home for this game. 2 players on defense. Yes, and that's crazy. 2 players on defense I want to mention before I'm done that I'm in love with, but I think it's gonna take Mac a little bit more time to get back to fully normal. I didn't think he looked terrible. I texted you. I think he looked hurt still, but that being said, the 2 players on defense, similar positions. Matthew Judon, I love. I think he is an animal. He's awesome. I think by far the runaway for Defensive Player of the Year if it ended today, in my opinion. The other person who's been in talks on the Jets side of the ball, Kayvon Thibodeau, their draft pick, high draft pick.
Well, that's for the Giants.
Or the Giants, I meant.
So you mean Sauce Gardner?
Sauce Gardner, yeah. He's awesome. He's awesome. And he's going to shut down.
When he wore the cheese head?
Yeah, dude. Wild. Instantly liked him. So, I don't know why I say Kayvon Thibodeau. I do
good.
love Kayvon Thibodeau, too, as well.
2 New York guys.
Sauce Gardner, indeed, is phenomenal. And they have no wide receivers. So I think he's going to shut down whoever Mac's trying to throw the ball to.
All right. So you good on that? You think you're confident with that? You want to stay with the Jets before I shut it down real quick?
Why?
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. So the quarterback situation of the Patriots makes me uncertain. Yes. That being said, Patriots, like you said, have one of the best defensive players in the league, Matthew Judon. On top of that, just their overall team defense, pretty good. Better offense than the New York Jets now, especially with Breece Hall. Probably would have been offensive rookie of the year had he not gone down, and probably would have won me a fantasy league or two.
Yeah,
very unfortunate.
I had him too. Yeah.
I saw Joey posted a thing on Instagram today of someone made like a edit of like them dropping Breece Hall from like their lineup, and it was like it was just like an emotional, sad thing. I related to. I'm like, fuck, bro, like you're doing so good.
Yeah.
And that's the main catalyst of that Jets offense. If this game has to be played with Zach Wilson winning the game for the Jets, I don't think it can happen. And it's not me being a hater with the Jets. It's just me being truthful. This team was having success off of a good defense, strong running game, and just a quarterback who could, get you a first down if you need to, not necessarily be the playmaker to get you, big throws down the field. Especially the receivers are unhappy over there.
One of them.
Elijah Moore, specifically.
Yeah.
But it's hard because this Jets team is looking a lot good. But they've also gotten lucky facing teams with quarterback issues, right? I can tell you off the top of my hand, 2 games is Russell Wilson being out for the Denver Broncos last week. Miami Dolphins not having Tua. Teddy goes out early on. Browns, they're facing Jacoby Brissett, and then there was another team. Who they beat in this 4-game streak? Steelers. I mean, that's a whole quarterback situation. Yeah, it's
trash.
So, that being said, it's tough. But now they're facing another team with a quarterback problem. Mac looks a little bit still banged up, like you alluded to.
Mm-hmm.
Zappy looked good in the first 2-3 drives.
Yeah.
And then just couldn't get it going. And then at that point you already went to Zappy, so you couldn't go back to Mac. But I think they should have, and maybe it would have been a different game. But at the same time, it was a scuffed. It was just once you brought him in, you can't turn back from that. That being said, I'm staying with the Patriots. Go ahead.
No, I'm just staying with the Patriots. I don't know, man. As far as what you were saying about the run game, though, is Michael Carter. Not a bad replacement,
No.
And James Robinson probably won't know a ton of the offense.
He has some time to learn. I mean, if McCaffrey got in a good amount of time, he's going to get it.
He might get maybe 15 touches max. Plays.
I might say 15 snaps.
Yeah, that's
honestly.
right. 15 plays max.
Yeah.
But
which is a lot in a football game,
But
realistically.
for the next week, I don't think it'll be as big of an issue as you think it might be.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest things about this Jets team. If James Robinson can produce for them, what this Jets team.
I like James Robinson.
I love him. I think he's one of the better running backs in this league. I'm kind of upset with what happened with him in Jacksonville.
I don't understand it, honestly.
Yeah. They're just trying to push the agenda of the young guys, which I don't blame them. But at the same time, it's just you have a guy who got you 1,000 yards on a shitty team. Now the team's getting better around him. Let him try to get more yardage, but I don't know what Doug was doing there. But
a lot of touchdowns too for him.
Tough. But yeah, I'm going with the Patriots. I think overall Patriots are the better team, but the Jets have been something of that I haven't seen of them in a really long time. Also, prop bet for this game: Patriots wide receiver Tyquan Thornton anytime touchdown plus 240. Why not? Let's let it ride. What do you think, Chris?
I don't love it. He only had 1 catch last week. He sucks.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And
And if he's the best wide receiver and Sauce is guarding him, game over.
He's more than likely gonna be guarding either Devontae Parker or Jacoby Myers.
Devontae Parker had an awesome catch last week.
But what did he do after?
Nothing.
What did I tell you?
A couple catches, but
What
nothing.
what I tell you?
Yeah.
What I tell you? He's good for one or two of those catches a year. I don't want to trash the guy because I liked him as a Dolphin, but it's just
It's good for you guys.
Yeah. All right. Next game. You wanna take us there?
Is this an easy pick 'em? The Pittsburgh Steelers going to the unbeaten, untested? Now they've been tested a little bit. Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know. City of Philly. Man, what a time to be alive.
So right now,
Jeez.
Philly.
Probably shouldn't do a Drake quote since they're all about Meek and they had.
Well, they're
beef,
boys now.
but-
They're boys again.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they're beefing. We don't know.
Hey.
But Meek Mill came out on one of their last primetime games.
But hey, Philly. Ain't this what you've been waiting for?
Yeah, Philly is going off right now.
Crazy.
In both sports, and basketball they're doing pretty good too.
They're losing right now.
Oh, dude, for real?
Yeah, I just saw the highlights.
Come on, Philly, get it together.
Anywho.
Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles 5-0, 6-0. 6-0. They had the bye last week, so they're gonna be fresh while they're facing a Pittsburgh Steelers team, who just lost on primetime against the Miami Dolphins. On top of that, not related to what we're talking about right now, but the Philadelphia Phillies going to be in the World Series against the Houston Astros.
Yep.
Should be an interesting series. Philly, let's talk about that because I think it's cool. The Phillies have one of the best batting lineups in all of baseball, obviously right now because there's only 2 teams left.
Yeah.
But in terms of just like how they played in the playoffs right now, it's so good. And then they're facing a pretty well-rounded Astros team. So real quick, who do you think got the winning?
I don't know. I'm going Phillies because I just always go with the team that I think is the hottest.
Uh-huh.
But everybody's like, how can you say that when the Astros haven't lost? Astros have been to 4 out of the last 6 World Series and have only won 2. I think they might take another L here. I would love to see Kyle Schwarber win another ring. And although I hate on Bryce Harper a lot, he would really cement himself in history if he won this for Philly and automatically Hall of Famer, right? Yeah. Right then and there. Put him in the books.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. This Astros team has not faced, I wouldn't say haven't faced anyone, but they've just dominated everyone, or they haven't lost at all in the postseason. And so to lose 4 games when you haven't lost a single one so far, it's gonna be tough. Yeah. But I'm with you. I think Philly's gonna be able to do it. And in football too, I think we're both gonna do it.
Yes, sir.
We're both going Philadelphia Eagles. Boom. Hey. I also have the kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Chris Boswell.
I was gonna say, is it Boswell still?
Yeah. Over 1.5 total made field goals, plus 114. Nice little gimme. I think didn't Philly just make a trade for a defensive player?
Yeah, Roquan Smith. Not Roquan Smith.
I was about to say.
Not Roquan.
That would have been like him.
Yeah,
Robert Quinn. I mean, just bolstering that defense who already got a lot of work done this offseason. Looking really good so far this season. And now they're just adding an elite pass rusher. So I think the sky is the moon for that defense. Not only is the pass rush going to be better, the secondary is going to be better. And the linebacking core is also just the entire defense.
He's not going to be able to get double teamed anymore. Yeah, so you're letting a guy that just nearly.
He's going to get double teamed here and there, obviously, but
not. Yeah. He's getting double teamed every play for the Bears almost.
So what does this tell you about the Philadelphia Eagles?
They're in win now mode. They want to win now. They have Jalen Hurts on a rookie contract, so they're spending money. Smart move.
Does this look similar to you as it did in 2017?
Pretty similar, I would say.
Young QB, good defense,
just like a lot of the teams. Around them. A lot of teams we've seen, honestly, yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest formulas in all of sports. If you have a young guy, you bring in experienced veterans who might cost you a little bit more, but especially if your team is rolling, you bring them in and try to just go for it all. Exactly. You've seen teams like the Rams do it, but the Rams have done it really weird, where it's kind of the opposite of everything that I just alluded to. But
they tried it that way. Couldn't win with Goff, and they're like, let's get a legit quarterback.
Yeah, so they kind of flipped the script on it. They traded for the older guy in terms of quarterback.
Yeah.
But a lot of the team was young, except for a few guys who were the cornerstones of that team having success.
No, the Eagles said, hey, Jalen Hurts, we're going to give you a wide receiver. Defense was already pretty good. They got him a number one, and we're going to see how it goes. Mm-hmm. And they started off 6-0. Did they think they were going to start off 6-0? Probably not. It was a gamble, and now that they are, and now that they're in the lead of the division and the whole NFL, they bolstering the defense and saying, let's ride with it. Mm-hmm. Let's go for it. And that's what I was kind of hoping could potentially happen with the Bears this year. Didn't work out that way. Jalen Hurts clearly better than Justin Fields at this point, but hey, it worked out for them.
Yeah. One thing I want to say is as much as I'm enjoying this Eagles success, someone's got to put them down before Yeah, hopefully they don't make it undefeated in the Super Bowl. If they make it undefeated in the Super Bowl, the year the Dolphins celebrate their 50th anniversary of the undefeated team, I'll be pretty upset. Yes, I know I wasn't alive for it to happen. I didn't witness it, whatever you want to say. But still something that is, crazy that has happened to the franchise that I like.
I know PFT, he put a pretty decent-sized bet on it because there's really good odds for them to go on.
Undefeated, remain undefeated?
Yeah, if you look at the schedule, it's not that tough, honestly.
Exactly, that's what
it's really not that tough for them.
I feel like the Giants might give them the biggest run for the money, but we'll see. Anywho, let's move on because not much to talk about on this game. We have the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. Dumpster fire of a game.
Yeah, I think we're all going to go with the Titans here. It's pretty much, they're the better team, I think, by far.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you earlier, I think they're going to start going on a run. Even though they've lost a lot of pieces and I don't know, they haven't looked great.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to go on a little bit of a run, and I think Mike Vrabel is who I want Dan Campbell to be. So, enough said.
Yeah, we're both going Tennessee here. Tennessee is favored barely, though, even though they're on the road -2, -130 on the money line, over-under at 40.5. Highest scoring quarter, I have it at the third quarter, plus 460.
Sure. Odds for that, yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Texans are going to be wearing their red uniforms with their red helmets.
Really?
And in case anyone's interested in any type of swag in terms of what they wear in the field. But, as much as I said this is a dumpster fire game, got to allude to that Tennessee is 4-2. They're having success, but it's very, quiet,
They haven't looked great, honestly.
There were one loss. One of their losses was to the Giants. And I'm trying to think of the other one. Was it to the Colts?
To the best team in football, basically.
Okay. Eagles?
Bills.
No, Bills? Okay. Yeah, so, then they're doing a lot better than what I'm expecting.
They lost the first two and have won every game
4
since.
straight, yeah. So, as much as I just undermined how good they've done so far, it's just, it's been very quiet from them. This is a 4 o'clock game, by the way, so those of you wondering. Did you see the renderings of the Tennessee Titans' new proposed stadium?
I saw the spoof that you showed me.
The Topgolf comparison?
Topgolf,
yeah. It looked like a little Topgolf.
Yeah, I saw it.
But, it looks pretty cool. They're kind of going for, a design that's, not so much...
traditional?
Yeah, like when you see a stadium, you know it's a stadium. Like that, it looks like a normal building,
I kind of liked it, though. And then, I don't know, because I've been to a stadium like that. I went to the Charlotte Hornets Stadium, and it literally looks like any other building there.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of liked it because it was, hidden. Literally, we were kind of, had to, look for it. And I kind of liked it. I think it's cool. I think it makes it feel like it's more part of the city than just, this big thing just sticking out in the middle and it's super flashy. I liked it.
Yeah. I kind of get that vibe from, I still call it the AAA, where the Heat play. And because it's just, it gives that Miami feel. I feel like that's what you're kind of alluding to for the Charlottes. It is what it is. And they're putting it more in downtown, too, for Nashville and stuff like that. So, should be interesting. But I like the location they were at before.
Yeah,
right on the river. It was a nice stadium.
Right on the Riverwalk, right?
Yeah. So, it's the only thing I guess I'm probably alluding to is just it's an older stadium at this point, almost over 20 years. But still, feels like, Soldier Field and Lambeau Field that are almost over 100 years old,
Exactly.
Anyways, let's move on to a little bit better of a game, more something that, perks up your ears a bit, gets you a little more interested. We have the New York Giants versus Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's been more of a surprising team than people might have given them. And you can say the same thing for the New York Giants. New York is 6-1. Seattle is 4-3. Are you buying the Seahawks?
No, I don't think I am, honestly. I love Pete Carroll. I think he's a great coach. But I really want to go with the Seahawks at home again, trying to catch up and make up games on these guys. But I'm not really buying the Geno fandom, even though he has looked really, really good. I understand that. But so has Daniel Jones. And Brian Daboll has this offense and defense fired up. And like I mentioned earlier, Kayvon Thibodeau, really good for first year, and he seems really, really intelligent about playing the game of football, and I like that. I'm gonna go with the Giants on the road. Shout out to Boss Ross, our guy from work. He's a Giants fan, so hopefully they win for Ross on the road. Big win in Seattle. Let's do it.
I'm going to go with the home team on this one. I think as much as I want to say Seattle got lucky a little bit last week facing a hobbled Chargers team, they also dealt with some injuries in that game. But offense is looking legit. Kenneth Walker now is going to take that spot of Breece Hall being probably Offensive Rookie of the Year because he's just going off. He's going on a tear. On top of that, defensively, not the best defense out of Seattle. I mean, we've obviously seen better out of that specific team, but with the Legion of Boom. But when you think about that defense, they've just been able to kind of do things almost all around. They haven't been very good at one specific spot, but they also haven't been horrible. So they just found ways to help this team get wins. And then on top of that, if the offense is clicking for the Seattle Seahawks, then they were able to get it. Then you also got to factor in the 12th man.
I agree. It's hard to play in Seattle. Great fans there. Great fans. The two best players on the team are out. DK Metcalf, Jamal Adams.
DK is confirmed out?
I don't think so, but I don't think it's confirmed. But like we saw him go down, and we, saw the fear in everyone in Seattle's eyes.
Yeah, the one thing I must add to that is like he looked a little bit like not so concerned. He was not laughing, but like kind of smiling.
Did he get carted off though?
He got carted off. He wasn't like, oh, man, like my.
I think he's out at least a game probably.
Maybe this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, he's like he comes back next week, but then goes back out next game. Yeah, if that's the case, I might switch it to the Giants just because they're a little bit hotter. Obviously, 6-1. That's nothing to sneeze at. But I do think double result has New York Giants first half, Seattle second half plus 525. I mean, it doesn't mean that Seattle has to win the game. It just means they score more points in the second half than the Giants. But yeah, I mean, it could be very close at the very end. And if that's the case, then it might go in Seattle's favor. But, the Giants have been able to win close games and find themselves, coming up clutch. But for the time being, I'll go with Seattle. Home field, just like the way they've been playing. But aside from that, the Giants could easily win this game. It's for me, it's a toss-up, but I'll go with the home team on that one.
All right.
Chris, you want to take us to this next 4:25 game?
Yeah, I like this game. I think this might be one of the games of the week, to be honest. Very, very interesting divisional game here. You got the 49ers going to L.A. to play the Rams. You're telling me you're going to give a week off to McVay, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Stafford, Cooper Kupp to prepare at home? Everybody else besides me and DJ are going Niners. We're going Rams. So if we lose, I stay on par with DJ on this one at least. But at home, man, I feel like you got to take the Rams. I do understand there's a lot of hype around the 49ers right now. Just got McCaffrey. Debo's awesome. But what's up, man?
I was making faces this whole time, Chris. I mean, it's hard to go against what you're saying because, like, I do agree with you. I mean, coming off a bye, this team should be well rested. They haven't had the best of luck, going 3-3. 49ers have been a little bit more surprising. Even though their record is 3-4, the games they've won, it's been pretty impressive. The games they've lost has been pretty close too. I mean, you lost to like Denver 10-11. Like
lost to the Bears.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
Lost to the Falcons too. Yeah. So 3 teams that aren't very, very good.
And what are the teams they've won against?
Seattle. Mm-hmm. They've already played the Rams, and they beat the Rams. So this is a really, really important game for the Rams. The Panthers as well.
So this is the first time they go back to LA since the NFC Championship of last year. Jimmy G's back in at quarterback because
Trey Lance is hurt.
Yeah, and this defense is a lot better than what people went into the year thinking it was going to be.
The Niners?
Yes. The Los Angeles Rams have been a little bit upsetting, especially as being defending Super Bowl champions. But I kind of expected that with the Rams. I feel like, Super Bowl hangovers are a thing. And especially a team like the Rams that pretty much sold out to get one, it's more than likely inevitable to happen because you're just like, you lose guys like Odell Beckham in the Super Bowl. You lost Von Miller in the offseason. A lot of guys just went and got paid by different teams just because they would just want to part of a Super Bowl team, and they're like, I want to bring that culture along. You lost Eric Weddle. I know he wasn't a big piece, but he was definitely like a locker room guy. I think the attitude needs to change in this Los Angeles Rams team for me to feel like I can go with them a little bit more. So I will go with the 49ers just because they have that like mentality to them. And another type of double result in terms of what is it called for the prop? We have double result Los Angeles Rams first half, San Francisco 49ers second half plus 525. Just throw them out there.
Yeah, not bad value there. Not bad.
How do you feel about what I said about the Rams?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have. This is a very important game, like I mentioned. They have to prove that they're going to be in it this year. Mm-hmm. I feel like if they lose this, they're not out. Obviously, there's a lot more games to be played, but you're going to have to contend with the Niners, I feel like, when it's all said and done.
Because it's between them and the Cardinals.
Seattle is relevant still.
I mean, Seattle's on top of the division right now.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll be there at the end of the year. Cardinals, we'll see. Took them this week. We'll see if they go to 500, but they need to win this game, in my opinion.
I agree. The Rams do need to win this game, so even though I am going with the 49ers, like I do think mentally the Rams need to win this game. But I think this could be also one of those season-ending type of things for the 49ers if they end up losing this game. They made a big move trying to acquire Christian McCaffrey. And if that offense isn't doing good when they come out against the Rams, who coming off the bye, so you could catch them flat-footed early on and put up a lot of points early on, which kind of goes against my double result. But it is what it is. Anyway, let's just keep it moving. We have, I believe, the last 4 o'clock game. We have the Washington Commanders versus Indianapolis Colts. If you would have told me this game at the beginning of the year, it would have been a lot more entertaining. I would have agreed. This week, I'm not so much sure. Carson Wentz is currently on IR for the Washington Commanders, former Indianapolis Colt. Then we have new Colts quarterback, now benched because he's hurt and he's been sucking, even though he's like 4th in like yardage.
Yeah, a lot of end of game passing, a lot of catch up play. But yeah, I agree.
Either way, that would have been a lot more entertaining game. But now we have Taylor Heineke and Sam Ehlinger, which makes it very hard to pick this game. It could pretty much near be a pick 'em.
This game's trash. I will not be watching this game. This game is awful. I don't even want to talk about this game. I'm going to take the Commanders because I don't even know who Sam Ehlinger is.
He's
but
former quarterback for Texas.
I do know who he is, but come on. What are we talking about here? Taylor Heineke versus Sam Ehlinger? This game stinks. Move on to the next one. The next one's way better. All right. In all fairness, I don't think you could take a team after benching your starting quarterback the next week. Hard to.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. After benching Matt Ryan, in all seriousness, it'd be really hard to take him. I keep saying this. When is Chase Young coming back? If at all this year, hopefully he comes back. But Taylor Heineke has at least played.
Yeah,
so
he has experience. I mean, he did get a big win last week against the Green Bay Packers. What is up with the Packers? Well, before we get into speaking about them, I just want to say I'm going with the Washington Commanders. I also threw in total second half touchdowns for both teams, total overall between if 1 and 1, if this is what happens, 2 total plus 195. Not a big fan of that one, but I was the only one that could really find a plus return on for you guys. And, the Commanders defeated the Green Bay Packers last week. And, the question arises for this next game, which the Green Bay Packers will be facing the Buffalo Bills Sunday Night Football. Are Packers dead?
Are the Packers dead? So that's this guy. What he thinks. Yeah, wake up.
You going to say something?
What happened to
Let us know about the Packers.
You sleeping, dude?
Wake up.
Come on, man. What's up? What's up with you, bro? Anywho, that's Joey, if you remember him from our last couple podcasts.
Turned into a Bears and Heat fan overnight.
Oh, man. Are the Packers dead? Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm definitely taking Buffalo at home, though. Packers have had some seriously bad losses this year. Although, I don't think they're dead. Aaron Rodgers calling out players, not cool. And all the stuff he said. I haven't listened to Aaron Rodgers Tuesday
I haven't listened to it
yet, but I heard it's pretty harsh. I heard he's pretty much saying some people shouldn't even be on the field. So that being said, I'm gonna take the Bills at home.
They are favored 11.5 points, minus
this,
600.
This is the first time Aaron Rodgers has ever been a 10-point underdog in his whole career.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. It's tough, man, because, like, you think going into this game, like, man, the Packers would be way more competitive, blah, 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 blah. Now, what? They're going into this game with 3 wins, 4 losses. It's just not a good look for this Green Bay Packer team, especially Aaron Rodgers. In terms of the consensus pick, you guessed it, it's Buffalo. I mean, you can't blame them. They're going to be one of the top teams throughout the entire season. But you know, one of their loss came from this team. So, what I got to say about that? I feel like the joke you made about the Jets before we played them, like, but we beat the Dolphins.
Yeah.
You know, but we beat the Bills. No, but honestly,
take them.
yeah, I am. I'm taking the Bills. I think they're going to be the better team in this game, especially with like how everything's been working out for the Green Bay Packers. They just haven't looked good, and it makes it hard to pick a team that's just like looking flat every game. You know, they have the potential. It's just not doing good. That being said, Packers kicker Mason Crosby over 1.5 total made field goals. Plus 120. Offense is going to stall out a few times against the Bills, but they're going to be able to move the ball down the field. Trust me, after Aaron Rodgers, what he said this week on the Pat McAfee show, he's definitely low-key lit a fire under their players' butts. But at the same time, right now this Packers team should be way more ahead than what they are right now at 3-4. They should probably be 5-2, if anything.
This is probably going to be the worst year under Matt LaFleur. They only lost 4 games last year. In total, they already have lost 4 this year. I don't know. I got to bet against Green Bay here and hope as a divisional opponent that they lose, honestly.
And what about next?
Next game is also a good game, I think. I think it's a better game than people think.
Okay.
Division rival, Cincy going to Cleveland.
What day?
On Monday. On Monday night.
Monday night.
Monday night.
No, October 31st.
Happy
Halloween. Hey, Joey, say happy Halloween.
That is Halloween. Yeah, that is Halloween. I forgot about that, honestly. But, anywho, and they're both orange. That's cool.
Yeah, Brady Quinn mentioned that today, too.
Well, I mentioned it on this podcast.
Hey.
But, anywho,
take control,
I don't know. If the Cleveland Browns lose, that would be 5 in a row. It's kind of hard for me to picture the Browns losing 5, but I think it's going to happen. Everybody is taking the Bengals. I'd love to take the Browns at home, despite traditionally being a Brown hater in recent past. But I'm going with the Bengals. I think it'll be a better game than you think, though. A little bit closer.
I do think it will be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I am going with the Bengals. Like you said, a divisional game, they're always going to be close. Literally, that's why I have the winning margin for this prop bet at 1 to 6 total points of margin of victory. And I think that could be the case because although Cleveland is 2-5, Cincinnati hasn't looked very good, especially for a team that just came off of the Super Bowl. They're having a less of a Super Bowl hangover than the Rams. Even though they're just 4-3, they're pretty much just about the same in terms of win and losses. They've looked a lot better throughout most of their games. They've been competitive. They've lost close games. That's how things have gone for Cincinnati. But, it could be anyone's game. The Browns are a lot better than their record says. Probably like what I alluded to earlier, one of the best 2-5 teams, like I said about the Raiders, best 2-4. But this Browns team is desperately waiting to see Deshaun Watson come back. And, they're only 2 weeks away from that. So I want to really see what this Browns team is made of once Deshaun Watson gets in there. And they could be a dark horse to, possibly make the playoffs. They just need to win a couple games. If they lose this week, it's going to be very hard for them to do so. So you could consider this season already a wash for the Browns if they end up losing this game. But crazier things have happened. Dolphins almost made the playoffs last year after going 1-7. So anything can happen.
I agree. But that being said, I think the Bengals won the last game of the week. And there's two things I wanted to mention. Dalton is expected to start, by the way. It's
For the
not
Saints?
Jameis.
Okay.
Yes. So, I'm actually trying to read it right now. It says to start Dalton, so
Okay.
hopefully they're going to start him. And then Zeke might be out against the Bears. So,
Yeah, I heard about that one.
they still have Tony Pollard,
yep.
but they should be all right.
Just final second updates for the games this week. But that wraps it up. The only other two teams not playing this week. Can you guess who they are, Chris, without looking anything up?
Without looking?
I'll give you hints.
No, I got you. Without looking. Let me think here. The Chiefs?
Yep, that's one of them.
And man, the Chiefs and who? Let's see. Another West Coast team?
Yes, a team we talked about a lot but never mentioned because they're not playing.
Really?
Yes. I talked about them a lot.
I'm not sure who.
Take a guess. Just say a team real quick.
Jeez, I don't know. We talked about so many teams. Let's go Chiefs and I don't know, Raiders.
No, Raiders. We talked about the Raiders. Same division. So
Chargers.
I was about to say it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. As soon as you're like, man, yeah, I saw that. But all right. So two decent teams, two good teams not playing this week.
Yes, sir. And that's pretty much wraps it up for week 8. Any closing little statements you want to make?
Hey, always. Shout out Steve. Appreciate everything you do. Check out NFLGamePicker.com where we make our picks. You can track our picks. You can click on the links. Check out our YouTube. All that good stuff right there. Shout out Steve. Shout out the Ravens. Hopefully they win for you, buddy.
Hey, that pretty much wraps it up for week 8. NFL Game Pickers got Chris dripped out, and myself included. Yes, sir. But that pretty much wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.